Priyanka Nambagyan, Pani chapter on violence. Choose the correct alternatives. Physical violence kills people incidentally, willingly, unwillingly, or none. The option is number B. Willingly. Violence in individual comes by birth, after birth, through education. None. Option B. After birth. While showing violence to other man, very thoughtful about his own safety, not very much cruel, conscious about his family, ever ready to be killed. Option number D, ever ready, even ready to be killed. A person without the sense of love is better than animals, worse than animals. Option number B, worse than animal. The state of bliss in human mind may be generated by violence, mercy, education, and destruction. Option number C. Education. Answer in 30 to 40 words. What are the characteristics of physical violence? Physical violence is a full of cruelty, antagonisms and hatreds. फिजिकल वायलेंस क्या होता है? एक ऐसा क्रूलिटी और हेट्रेड फॉर्म होता है. इट इज़ ऑलवेज डन विदाउट एनी थॉट. बिना सोचे समझे ये हमेशा किया जाता है. द इंटेंशन इज़ टू किल और हर्ट द अदर पीपल नोइंगली. और उसका इंटेंशन ये रहता है कि जानबूझ के सामने वाले को मार देना या फिर चोट पहुंचाना. वट आर द कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स ऑफ इनवर्ड वायलेंस? इनवर्ड वायलेंस क्या होता है? इनवर्ड वायलेंस इज़ फुल ऑफ डिसलाइक. इनवर्ड वायलेंस मतलब फुल ऑफ डिसलाइक, हेट, किसी के टूवर्ड्स हेट या फिर क्रिटिसिज्म होना. इट पर्पस इज टू चेंज पीपल बाई फोर्स ओन वे ऑफ थिंकिंग. इट्स रिलेटेड टू बोथ क्वारलिंग एंड अदर आर वन सेल्फ. कि क्वारल जो हम करते हैं, एक दूसरे से झगड़ा करते हैं, उसको भी हम बोलते हैं. What is more important than a PhD degree? Love, affection, kindness and consideration are more important than a PhD degree. लव, अफेक्शन, काइंडनेस और ये सब सबसे ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है पीएचडी डिग्री से. इन द एब्सेंस ऑफ दीज वैल्यू पीपल टेंड टू अडॉप्ट वायलेंट वेज ऑफ लाइफ, हेंस दे कंट्रीब्यूट टू द वर्ल्ड ऑफ डिस्ट्रक्शन. हाउ कैन अ पर्सन बिकम रैशनल? एक पर्सनल रैशनल कैसे हो सकता है? Antagonisms, hate, cruelty, criticism, and anger all are natural in man. Education helps man go beyond all these weaknesses. Obviously, it makes man a rational human being. What does a man realize in older age? In older age, man realizes that misery of his life, he finds that his life is full of sorrow and confusion. He constantly seeks love and affection. His life was worse than the animals. When does human life become full of joy? When human being is free, lives happily, joyously, without hate and conflict with others, their life became quite different with a clear meaning and full of joy. Answer in 60 words. How does education contribute to overpower violence? Education can help prevent violence through formal education. Formal education provides an opportunity for children to learn important social skills, critical thinking skills, problem solving strategies, and communication skill. The presence of violence, antagonisms, hate, and cruelty is natural in man. Anger and ugly criticism also incites man to adopt violent means. This weakness makes him a real brutal man who has a clever brain to defend his brutal act. Education is an effective weapon which help him only not to get through examination and get jobs, but a rational being also. Only an educated man can have a beautiful and healthy mind. What are the author views about the old and new culture? The author does not support the old culture. Author पुराने culture को support नहीं करता है. He thinks that it is dead. उसको लगता है कि पुराने culture dead, buried, burnt, exploded और vaporized है. It is full of violence and aggression. पुराने culture में बहुत सारा violence और aggression है, which have produced all confusion and misery in society. जिसने society में बहुत ज़्यादा confusion create करके रखा है. On other hand, the author thinks that the new culture being free and violence has free from violence. और new culture में violence free है, यहाँ पे violence ज़्यादा नहीं है, has power to change the world. A new culture can teach people about outward cruelty of man to man in name of God, religion, self-importance, security of family. The world needs a new culture, a new society. How can the world of nature be best enjoyed? The world of nature can best be enjoyed when we have an open mind and heart. We can enjoy the presence of nature when we are free of fear and violence. Only some people know about this extraordinary bliss, which is a part of education, a peaceful mind, and can feel a deep silence all around. A sense of great beauty and a loneliness help us enjoy the supreme joy of nature. People must get education to enjoy the world of nature. What does a life became a terrible business? When does a life became a terrible business? Violence, antagonism, hate, cruelty, ugly, criticism, and anger are inherent weakness in man. The author desires that human beings should be given proper knowledge about all these drawbacks of life, because they only instigate man to adopt violent means. When human beings are exposed to the reality of their weaknesses, they are forced to think about their consequences, otherwise they will also become a part of the rest of the world. They lead a life devoid of love, affection, charity, and generosity. The absence of these human values made life a terrible business. How does J. Krishnamurti point out the danger of violence? The is a reputed writer, educationist. He is a champion of mankind, and presence of violence in the world is a matter of great concern for him. He judged the dangerous effects of violence on mankind. He pointed out dangerous the two types of violence. Physical violence kills and hurt people consequently and deliberately, whereas inward violence burns them within. The ultimate violence is a war which kills our idea. It never allowed love, affection, charity, and generosity to develop in human beings. In the absence of these values, they lose rationality and became enemies of mankind. It never built a new culture when human beings may live happily and enjoy supreme joy of nature. Therefore, the author is very worried of violence spread all over the world. Next, yeah, fill in the blanks with synonyms. The world is full of enormous violence. Unfortunately, people are motivated by antagonism. Nowadays, generosity has become a rare virtue. The state of bliss can only be felt when violence is out of mind. Violence and anger are inherent in man. Fill in the blanks with antonyms. In the insane mind, only negative thought enters. Irrational behavior in human being is intolerable. A peaceful mind can observe the bliss of nature. The positive attitude is always appreciated. A true awareness of past and present is desirable. Simple past tense. Put in the blanks the correct form. Columbus discovered America. He heard favorably from eight instruction. She returned from Agra on last Monday. When did you last see your father? It is exactly 5 years ago that we got married. The police released the thief yesterday. He suddenly rang that he was traveling in a wrong direction. Sorry, he suddenly realized that he was traveling in a wrong direction. The police caught the thief yesterday. He he rang me up just now. He had a letter from my wife last week. The thief has escaped before he came into the room. In in continuous tense. I was washing my hands when the telephone rang. They all were having breakfast when I got up. The doorbell rang while she was reading. My aunt was walking in the park when I met her. She she was talking to her neighbors when the baby began to cry. He suddenly realized that he was traveling in the wrong direction. As I was crossing the road, I stepped on a banana skin and fell heavily. He felt sorry. He left the blind school and was enrolling in at another school. The Hartman felt that David was heeding for grief. I was thinking about the problem at night, but I never found the answer. Past tense. He said he had been present at the meeting. John wanted to know why Mary had come home late. Until he had explained, Mary did not understand. He had gone blind before he was 9 years of age. The fire had been burning
for 3 hours when the firemen arrived. His neighbors his neighbors did not speak to him until he had apologized. The workers had not called out of the strike unless the demands were accepted. He told me that he had never met you. Thank you.